Yes, good afternoon, friends. I'm Ramya, Department of Information Technology. I'm going to explain the introduction of design thinking. Yes, design thinking is a problem-solving methodology that places the human needs and experience at the center of designing products, services, as well as the systems. It is a user-centered as well as a solution-focused, action-oriented, empathy, ideation, and experimentation. Definition of design thinking is nothing but design thinking is a human-centered approach and innovation that draws from the designer toolkit to integrate the needs of people as well as the possibility of technologies and requirements for the business success. The key characteristics of the design thinking characteristics description: human-centered focus on the needs, wants, and the limitations of the user. Collaborative encourages the teamwork across the disciplines. Iterative, constant refinement of ideas as well as a prototype. Prototype is nothing but a model which you have to implement in the test stage. Creative and analytical combines the imaginative thinking with the analytical process. Solution focused prioritize the finding the workable solutions over dwelling on problems. The importance of design thinking is nothing but solve the complex problems as well as the ill-defined problems. It's also called the wicked problems. Bridges the gap between the technologies, business goals and the user needs. Promotes the innovations in organization. Helps to create the product services that are desirable, feasible as well as the viable. So these are the importance of design thinking. The next 5 phases of design thinking is nothing but the first one is empathize. To understand the human needs and their needs through observation, engagement and immersion. The next stage is define. Clearly articulate the problem to solve by synthesizing the finding from the empathy stage, whichever data collected from the empathy stage itself. Next one is the ideate. Generate a wide range of creative ideas and the solutions through brainstorming and other techniques. The next stages is prototype. Prototype is nothing but a model which you have to implement. Build the simple tangible representation of the model. Mocks up of the ideas for the testing. The last stage is test to implement the prototype model whether it's working or not, to evaluate the prototype with the user and gather the feedback from the early stages itself and reframe the solutions based on the solutions. Next, the alternative models of design thinking. Some institutions use a slightly different models, that is nothing but double diamond model, that is introduced by the British Design Councils. That is the stages are the discover, define, deliver, develop. Next, the Stanford Deep School model implement the empathize, define, ideate, prototype and the test. Next, the principles of design thinking is nothing but empathy first. Prioritize the user perspectives, prototype quickly and learn by doing. Radical collaborations involve the diverse teams and the stakeholders, where we can gather the informations from the stakeholders. Based upon that, we can improvement in the collaboration team itself. Fail early and fail fast. Learn from the failures before the large investment. We can gather the informations whether the success rate and identify and analyze the data behind the process. Focus on the human values aligned with the real needs of people. Based upon the human needs, we can satisfy the how to solve the problem. Traditional problems as well as the design thinking. Traditional problem solving is nothing but linear sequential approach. Then design thinking is nothing but iterative and non-linear approach. Solution driven is nothing in traditional problem solving, solution driven. In design thinking, user based, need driven. Next, expert centered in the traditional problem solving as well as the human and user centric approach is in the design thinking approach. Analytical in the traditional problem solving as well as the design thinking in the creative and as well as the analytical. So these are the traditional problem solving and design thinking process. The applications of design thinking is nothing but business, healthcare, education, as well as the government and policy needs. So these are the applications in the game engine support systems. Yes, thank you.